Recently, I decided to learn coding and took an online course in it. And I went through all the videos very diligently. I went through the material. I went through all these examples and projects and everything. And it was kind of fun looking back. I can say that, yeah, it was kind of fun. But was it really fun in the moment? Hell no. It wasn't fun. I could have just watched the next episode of Peaky Blinders, or I could have gone to the pub, or could have played that game that I always keep playing all the time. But sitting there with a notebook, noting down what a library is, what are data types, and then typing these weird symbols on a blank screen, it definitely wasn't fun. I mean, at times it was excruciatingly boring. The same thing happened when I tried to learn Kannada. I mean, it was not fun. The grammar wasn't familiar. The words sounded weird out of my mouth, and it was, really embarrassing. Then why do they keep saying that learning is fun? Why company like are like, come, fall in love with learning and all that?
I love you.
Are we really that stupid to fall for this propaganda? I mean, that's what Hitler did. And he even wrote about it in his own book before actually doing it. I mean, that's how confident that guy was. Take an idea which is so outrageously impossible to be true and then just advertise it crazily. It is so unlikely to be true that no one will think that anybody would have the daring to announce it so loudly unless it is true. Had I been in that inner circle, I love learning new things. I didn't know crap about this blockchain technology and someone challenged me to make a video on it. I took it and I learned it, and it was excruciating. I had to read articles on articles to really understand the intricacies of that technology, to really make sense of it. And I really did make a video on it. But in the end, I mean, why did I put myself through all that pain? Learning is not fun, my friends, but knowing things is power. I have this observation, and I welcome psychologists and thinkers to, enlighten me if I'm wrong, but I have this bloody observation. There are two kinds of pleasures. There is a pleasure of lying comfortably in your couch, eating aloo bhujia and watching Netflix. There's a pleasure of lying comfortably in your bed under an AC and sipping hot tea. I mean, there's pleasure in watching Insta Reel, there's pleasure in gossiping, and there's pleasure in watching pornography. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not pleasurable. It's like assuming the person who's listening to me is dumb. I mean, are you dumb? I call these things shallow pleasure. And then there is this other kind of pleasure, like the pleasure of climbing the mountain. It's not fun in the moment. It's like a bad idea all the time. I feel like that because I have to get up from my bed, and that takes a lot of effort, and then I have to go find my shoes and tie my shoes and then go out there, and then while I'm climbing, sometimes my knee hurts, sometimes I get a scratch. Then I see a fellow man like climbing really fast, and it makes me feel jealous. In the moment, it doesn't feel like a lot of fun. I mean, but then when you have climbed up to a certain point, and let's say there's a bench or something, and then you're sitting there and you feel this serene peace. That's also some sort of pleasure that you don't get that kind of pleasure sitting in your couch, right? There's this complete total silence kind of peace, and then you feel that as if, oh, that's nice. Friedrich Nietzsche, this profound philosopher from Germany, said that the true pleasure of life is in voluntarily accepting this suffering to achieve something. It's like going out to the gym. It's like making this video. It's like going out in social circles to find a partner and to really work on a relationship. It gives you these pockets of pleasure that you have earned, and I call it earned pleasure. I mean, you can take a car up to a hill if possible and watch a sunset, versus you can climb on foot to that hill and watch that sunset. But the quality of those two experiences are very different. They're poles apart. That experience becomes deeply meaningful now. And learning is like that. I mean, knowing things is, yes, powerful. It makes you feel powerful, but it also kind of surfaces this new meaning of the world around you, and that is bloody priceless. Because when you're learning something, what you're really trying to do, what you're really aiming for, is to understand this underlying order amidst this chaos of all the information. I mean, if I were to tell you the Newton's laws of motion, you might get it a little bit the first time, and then there's all these chaos of the information, like there's so many questions, there's all these extra information attached to it, and you get some of it and you don't get some of it. But if you keep pushing through it, slowly this underlying simplicity, this underlying order kind of becomes apparent to you. And once it is crystal clear, man, you feel like, give me any problem and I'll shoot it down. I'm not scared by it. In fact, I love it now. And that's the love that, that's the real love.
I'm sorry, लेकिन आप ये lines रट के आ रही हैं?
नहीं, naturally अंदर से निकलती.
I'll tell you a little secret. The best alarm for me is, I have told my wife that anytime I'm very reluctant to get up, just whisper a physics problem in my ear. Just by hearing that, I just get up and I have to solve it. You know why? Because I can solve it. I see these kids on the street, they're just driving their motorbike, like, doing all kinds of stunts and all that. And I wonder, why are they doing it? I mean, even when no one is watching, they're doing it. Why do they do that? It's because it's just fun. It's fun because you already know it. And that's the fun that I'm talking about. It's once after you've gotten empowered about it. It's the fruit of your toil, and not the toil itself. And that's why Aristotle said this. And then there's this other buzzword called curiosity. Be curious, stay curious, always be curious. Curiosity is everything. I'll tell you what, who's not curious? Everyone is curious. It's just that you're not curious about physics or economics or arts per se. I mean, sometimes you're curious about watching a new movie. Sometimes you're curious about going out to a certain place. Sometimes you're curious about eating that particular burger. We're all curious. None of us are not curious. We're all curious. Sometimes I'm so curious about the meaning of life that I just sit hours just thinking about it. Because curiosity is like an itch. And there's this shallow kind of curiosity which doesn't require you to put any effort to fulfill it. It's just there. It's just like you can just, itch it anytime. And then this other kind of curiosity, earned curiosity, which makes you push your boundaries a little. It's painful. And you have to go through this boring process and just follow through that. And as you keep going through it more and more and more, you start to enjoy that process. You start deriving pleasure out of the thing that you have acquired, out of the knowledge and the skill that you have acquired. And it's the kind of enjoyment that really elevates you. To really learn something, you have to kill yourself a little bit, You have to kill that part of you that thinks that, I already know it. You have to kill that feeling of casual contemptuousness towards something that, what is this thing? I don't want to learn it. You have to kill that thing. You have to beat yourself to learn something. And, that surely makes you a little better than you were before. Doesn't it? Having said that, I don't want to emancipate these teachers who really make it even more painful and boring. Man, these teachers who do not even try to make it a little more engaging. I mean, these people are tyrants, man. You don't know how passionately I hate some of my teachers. Learning need not be engaging enough itself, but as teachers, as guides, it's our job to make it as much fun and engaging as possible. But not by propaganda that learning is fun. I mean, had it been fun, then why would you have to make it engaging? If it were fun, no, people would start automatically doing it. That's like the definition of fun. Man, I just loathe such oversimplification of things. Anyways, do check out this video I've made on blockchain. It's just 15 minutes and you won't understand everything in that 15 minutes. But tell me if I were even slightly able to excite you towards that idea. I would consider it to be success if I were able to do that. So yeah, over and out.